Hello and welcome everyone to the Bethany Esports podcast. I'm your host, Robert Barr, and today I have joining me...
You don't need to be here now. You're fine.
Seth Grabow.
Hello. Hello. There we are.
Johnny.
Xiong. What's up, guys?
Max.
Max Nhan. Hi.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to sit down with me.
Of course.
And today I just want to do a quick... We had basically just a week so far. We had tryouts Monday.
Correct.
Right.
We had a scrim, I feared, Tuesday.
Right.
Yep.
Boise
And
State.
That's pretty much up to speed from where we are now. So
yeah. I didn't get anything last week because there was nothing really going on. So
sure.
Why don't we talk about tryouts so far?
Sure. So
let's do that first.
Yeah, Monday we had our tryouts. Our varsity League of Legends team, which Johnny and Max are already on, was already established. And then we're just kind of curious how many kids were on interested in other games on campus, right? Because Johnny was already a student here, but Max came in as a freshman this year, and just we kind of went from there. Like, how many people are interested in the other games we were going to do varsity? Overwatch, Rocket League, Smash Melee, Smash Ultimate, and Hearthstone. And about 50 unique kids showed up, as well as for doing some media production for esports. And from there, we just kind of went and had them play a game on our computers, kind of just got a feel for the room, a vibe. And from there, we just, the next day, we kind of talked to some people individually who signed up and said, like, are you actually serious about this? Or were you just kind of stopping by to hang out? And from there, we kind of made our decisions on who would all be, on who would be on the varsity team. And from there, starting next Tuesday, this week is a holiday, or this weekend is a holiday. So next Tuesday when we're back in school, I'll send out an email, kind of getting the other teams rolling as well, getting them doing some practices, maybe getting some scrims against some other schools, and letting the full esports gamut begin. You know, we've talked about stuff like this for, a year now, almost? Well, you're not in the podcast, but
not here.
But in other places online. And now it's all come to fruition, and we've gone from there. So, yeah, it should be fine. Don't worry about it.
You having fun?
We're just testing.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to raise it a little bit.
Just testing the mic. It's all right. We're good
Okay.
to go. Yeah.
So we've gotten the overview. I now want to do the people that hasn't been seen and don't know how to do.
Hold it where you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
We all good?
Yeah.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay. So the two people that haven't been seen before yet, why don't we give who you are? We just give an easy introduction. Let's
General
just who you are, what you do here at school, and what your role is in esports.
Okay. All right, guys. So my name is Johnny Xiong. I'm currently a sophomore here at Bethany Lutheran College. My major is exercise science, and you said role in esports?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I play League of Legends. I main support in the League of Legends team here at Bethany.
And you're also the cap?
Also the captain of the League of Legends team here at Bethany.
Max?
Nice. My name is Max Nhan. I'm a freshman here at Bethany Lutheran College. I am majoring in computer science, and I'm the top laner for the League of Legends team.
Sounds like fun.
It is.
It is really fun.
Yeah. Bethany came out to my high school, gave us a good advertisement for what they have to offer, and I took the bait.
Was that Lucas
here.
Fricky? That was
Yeah.
Lucas Fricky that came.
Lucas
right?
Ricky and Seth.
Yep.
Yeah, we both.
Oh,
yeah.
you
Yep.
guys, you
we,
too?
We both went. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are really good at networking.
Well, thank
reaching
you.
out to other
Absolutely.
schools.
Now, I asked Seth about the tryouts. I want to get your opinions. What did you think about tryouts?
You can go first.
Okay. Well, at first I felt like we were left in the. We didn't have an idea how tries were going to take place. I thought it was going to be in the house, but it seems like we were just allowing people to use the setups, get a feel for the room, like Seth said, catch a vibe. And just from what we saw, we can tell if people could make the varsity team or club or JV. So it seemed like very in the moment tryouts. It was very lax. Not a lot of pressure in the room.
I
Everyone
agree.
was very comfortable. Everyone was having a fun time. It was well managed.
Which is what I think it should be. Like everything being super comfortable, not like high stakes for tryouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, I honestly had no idea what to expect because this is the first time I've ever participated in like an official esports team. Honestly, did not know what to expect. But then there was quite a bit of people that came in. It just really filled up the room, and it really gives you the perspective that a lot of people on campus like really, like this opportunity that esports is here at Bethany. So it was really cool to see a lot of people just play and have a good time, but also the competitive aspect part to it, which is really, really good. You can like really tell like a separation of people who like really want to take esports like seriously, like in Overwatch, Super Smash Brothers, Ultimate, League of Legends, etc. So overall, it's just a really great experience.
Also, it was nice seeing people that don't really associate themselves with video games, but rather like casual, wanting to start other games. Like, I noticed some players in the basketball team wanted to have 2K as one of the games in the esports, because like, and then I mentioned to them, I had a small conversation about how the Timberwolves has a 2K team and they won nationals. So that's a big deal. And they were trying to say something with that, but I forgot how that conversation went. It was cool. Just meeting new people, new faces in tryouts.
And not just like varsity level, but it's like a community space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The gaming community, we're very accepting. Either you're like competitive, casual.
Right.
It's all for fun. Right.
Just like any other sport. I mean, if you're having a good time with like soccer or football, it's like you can have so much fun. And esports just is from like a different like dimension of the sports. It's really unique because you're not as physically active as like soccer, football, or baseball, but it's super like it's like a mental game, and that can bring out a lot of people who are usually maybe more shy on the active sports to actually come out. It's a really good opportunity for the more shy people to come out, which is great.
And now that we have a space, how many hours do you think each of you have actually spent there?
Me personally, I think I can say I've been in there a majority of my days. I would go to class. If anything, if I'm tired from class, I'd like take a quick nap, go skateboarding for like 30 minutes, and then spend like 8 to 10 hours in the esports room just playing games.
I respect your honesty. 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
That sounds actually really realistic.
It's very realistic. I'm going to keep it real here.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
If you're going to keep it real, I keep it 100% real. So let's see. So ever since like the past 2 weeks of the esports room, just past couple of days where the esports room has been open. Let's see, I usually get there around, for sure, after my classes.
Yeah.
Because school is a priority.
Absolutely.
For sure. And then fun after. So like 3 o'clock I'd be there, and then like around 7 or 8 I'm out. So about like 5 hours. 5 hours I would say a day on average. Sometimes less. Sometimes more.
Now that I think about it, not 10 hours. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
8 hours. I think I'll be comfortable with that.
Now, out of those 8 hours you're there, how much time do you spend in the game you're playing?
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is a difference between like practicing the game you are, but you want to make sure you don't get burnt out on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If you played, for instance, if I'm spending all my time in there playing the game that I'm playing, halfway through you're going to feel unmotivated and you're going to start to like autopilot, so that your quality of game will just, as you said, burn out. So you have to take small breaks. Like for me, I go outside and skateboard, or I'll read for homework, etc. Just to like re-cleanse your mind, I guess.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I feel you too. It's just like anything that you do for a really long period of time, like you gotta have like those short breaks. For me, for example, I sometimes just go out and actually exercise. It's not just League of Legends all day or esports all day. Like you actually have other hobbies too to fit in for your breaks. And Yeah, to go back to your question about like the actual minutes of how long we actually play the game to get better, I would say like 2 to 3 hours. Like a game averages about 30 to 40 minutes, and when you're actually like super trying to grind and trying to win and learn, it really takes a lot of your mental effort for sure. So I can only do that for a couple of games before I start to notice like a downgrade of my mindset of playing.
Now, is that a personal, like, I'm going to stop now? Or, Seth, do you, like, come in saying we should take a break? Or when do you do, like, team practicing? When do you do other things?
Yeah, usually I say something when if, like, for League of Legends, if all 5 guys on the varsity team are in the room and they all seem in a good mood, I'll say, hey, let's jump in a game of 5s or something. And that's been going really well. I think it took, like, 2 games of them playing 5s together to like really mesh, which was like really surprising. I was like, is this going to be a whole semester? Yeah. Obviously there's still some bumps in the road, some small communication things, and maybe there's other things you guys have noticed, but no, it was really satisfying to see how well everyone meshed together so quickly.
Team chemistry is a very important part.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't win if you don't get along with your teammates.
Yeah.
No one's no faker here.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Now, moving forward, Tuesday, there is a scrim. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can.
Let's do it.
Ooh, I just heard about it earlier. I'm lost in that.
Last
Tuesday?
Yeah, last
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This last Tuesday.
Yeah.
This last Tuesday.
So
the day after tryouts.
Right. Okay, we're talking about our very first scrim.
Yes, your very first scrim.
Sweet, awesome.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about.
Yeah,
that.
give your perspective. I'll just give a quick background. Last year, while going and meeting people, we met some people from Boise State in Idaho, famous for their blue turf football field, and we met some of their people who worked in their marketing department, and they put us in touch with their director of esports, Dr. Hanskel, and we kind of been in touch over Discord and email, and got a scrim in with them. Their team was Diamond 1 average, and little time zone mishap that happened. We thought the game was happening an hour or two later, but everyone was in the room, just waited for everyone to get out of game, and we jumped in a custom game with the Boise State guys, and I'll let these guys touch on how that went.
Yeah. So for me, like to add on to like why esports at Bethany is such a great opportunity for trying new things. I've always played League of Legends, just like everybody else. They've always played some sort of game. Right. But then for me, this was my very first time actually being in a formal setting to actually go against another formal college team. And that really brought the competitive aspect to me. And after the game, it was just a super good experience, like team bonding, team chemistry during the game, just the respect, and just like any other sport, it was just a great experience, like playing with the other team at Boise State University. So overall, a super good experience.
Yeah, for me, it reminded me of high school because I was in a league team for a high school esports league, and our team captain at the time tried to get us to scrim against like amateur teams, weren't necessarily from high school, but there's a special Discord where you can find D1 averages, scrim against them at a certain time just for good practice. So it reminded me of, being grateful to have good competition in scrims. Because at the end of the day, you want to learn. Like, every time you play a game, you want to play against the best, win or lose, because it's, at the end of the day, a learning experience. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a good time. Time. Right.
That was a good, I'm hearing it's a good experience for you individually. How about as a team exercise? Like, did you mesh well when you were playing?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
I feel were there some butting heads?
My experience, this is going to be honest, I think we did mesh well, but there are small like communication things, like I'd say hot mic, like things would be like unnecessary call outs, right? You want to be more concise with your call outs, because the more concise you are, like the more it's better to maximize time with using concise call outs so that comms are more quiet and it's used when needed.
Oh, okay.
So that was like one of the problems, you know.
Yeah, so that's like a League of Legends specific thing. It's like for
Right.
the team. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like team comms, you know. You
Yeah.
don't, if I was telling a story during a match, that would be unnecessary,
Like, yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Right.
You should let the team know. We can definitely work on that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't notice anything. But
Yeah.
in the game, you don't. It's hard to catch yourself
Right.
with like unnecessary things. That's why like reflection, like looking back at the games, is always so important. Just like in any other sport, you look at how you play, and you improve.
Yeah. You
But-
learn from mistakes.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
What'd you
But-
think of watching the game after?
So you did have VOD view.
I did.
Yes.
And I did record the comms, and I put the video with the comms.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super
Listening
cool.
to myself in a game, it's like, wow.
Oh yeah, that was another part too. Just actually hearing what we were saying.
Yeah.
That it was amazing. So much like opportunity to learn from what we were saying.
It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Like when we were playing
Right.
as a team, you saw like how we worked as a team. Also, we had very good predictions,
Mhm.
and rewatching it,
Yep.
it was like, wow,
Yeah.
big brains
hmm
on the team. Yeah.
Now, how do you in a match like that that's, for lack of a better term, you're supposed to be like serious during. How do you keep the mood lighthearted but
Mhm.
still held back?
Yeah.
Like if you're like too stiff, you're not going to play well. If you're
Right.
too lighthearted, you're not going to play well.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you manage mood in like this first scrim? Or did you just kind of like found a flow to it?
It's hard to say because it is the first scrim as a team, so we're still learning together.
hmm
So I assume like as things get on, or as like time comes, we're gonna like solidify our way of working things. Cause there was at times where I feel like we started to outpace ourselves in the sense that we got too excited and then we started to like play poorly due to that. You know,
Got too relaxed.
yeah, too relaxed.
Yeah.
You can't be too relaxed, but as you said, you can't be too stiff.
Yeah.
So it's like good to have role players on the team that are like the hype man,
Yup.
and then role play like Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny's
Gotta
definitely
hype
the
it up.
hype man.
Maybe as a better word, mood setter, mood maker.
setter.
yeah, mood setter. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we also have a role player that would always like make sure everyone's on track, and that would
Mhm.
be like our jungler.
Yep.
He would say things like giving us tips mid-match and just
Definitely.
reminding us that we should keep it calm and composed, but also have a fun time.
Yeah. So to answer your question about like how we adjust in terms of like if we're going to see the game serious or not to play at the best that we can, it's hard to do it by yourself because for me, for example, like my team just called me like the mood setter, right? Like I'm always hyping things up, but then that could be in a mindset where we would just have too much fun to the point where we could if we're having too much fun, we can play poorly, just like what Max said. But then because I have Ryan, our jungler, as like kind of like the other mood setter, where we,
Anchor.
yeah, right, like
He's an anchor.
he's like the logistics guy. Like
yeah.
you got to actually play the game smart. It's like our whole team balances each other out because we have such different personalities,
Dynamic
right?
duos.
And that's why I like
Yeah.
our team so much because about what you mentioned earlier about meshing together. I think that's just like our bond is just so good. It's just really amazing. So
It seemed like you as a team member got lucky, and you as a coach GM got really lucky with the first group you got.
Totally. Yeah, to say
Yeah.
the least.
Yeah, it helps. We
Yeah.
like talk outside of games. We're all friends.
Yeah.
That's a
Going
big
to
thi-
late night together.
Yeah.
yeah.
Getting meals together, just like
Yeah.
talking outside of games. It's just cool.
And we're all in different majors.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Like the
Yeah.
only thing you have in common is probably esports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think of majors as like something that can differ people though. I think it's just
It,
like
it doesn't differ you as like individuals, but it differs who you tend to associate. Like at a bigger college like MSU
Right.
down the road,
right.
if you're in
right.
a different major, you might never have seen each other, but you went to
Yeah.
the same school.
Absolutely.
Because it also helps that we're a smaller school, what, like 500, 700,
700, yeah.
700 enrollment.
Yeah.
In campus, yeah.
Yeah, so
On campus.
Yeah.
we got a
Oh,
bunch
nice.
of different interests colliding, meshing
Yeah, I do
well.
agree. Yeah, everybody has their own interests and hobbies, and because we're cool with each other outside of the game, yeah, we just mesh together and we get along really well.
Yeah.
Now, for this, I'm not sure if I should say year or semester, doesn't matter which, but what are your goals as an individual and as a team?
Individually, like in esports or
In
just like as a
esports
student?
or just maybe both.
Okay. Well, as a student, I want to moving to Mankato, coming from a city right outside of Minneapolis. I wanted to experience a different culture here. Very open-minded with what I was gonna like learn and observe from. I'm a very observant person, I would say. And being here, I have made some new friends, and the end goal of anywhere I go to, I've moved around a lot throughout my life, is to make long-lasting relationships that will carry regardless of where I'm at, you know. Like I remember when I moved to another city right after middle school, and I went to a new high school. I didn't have any friends. I still kept some friends from the other cities that I would see even now today. And then from the friends that I made in high school, now I'm not in college, in a different college, I still made a few friends that I still see today. So I think it's all about long-lasting relationships and observing different cultures, because that's like the best way to learn and experience. It's just to be like a cultural sponge.
Sweet.
And then in esports, take a dub for the boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
As an individual, but what about as a team?
As a team.
Take the dub.
I don't know. That's Johnny can talk right now.
Yeah,
I gotta think about that.
Yeah,
We'll come
Yeah.
back. We'll come back.
I can talk a little bit about that. As a team, I mean, it's kind of hard when you don't have them here to let our team give their own personal opinions on what they would want for our whole team to want. But one thing for sure, to work super, super hard to get better and to win, take first place in whatever league that we're in. And yeah, it's kind of hard. But then for sure winning. Like we really work hard to win, and we're really putting effort as a team to actually be the best varsity esports team compared to all other colleges, for sure.
Right. As a team, I think, our work ethic is really showing
Mm-hmm.
in the fact that we want to all improve.
Yep.
There's either in like our scrims, we've shown that we can accomplish wins so far just from one scrim, but then we also have work ethic on our own individual skills, which will in turn create a better team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, we are in the room, for me at least, I'm in the room for a lot of my day, and for the other teammates as well, we're in there just like grinding, wanting to improve, learn, and get better. And hopefully that translates to team play, which I'm sure it will.
Yep.
So
And on the improvement part, I've heard Ryan comment, I know it's you specifically, to expand your champion pool,
Yep.
yeah.
which you probably didn't think about too deeply until someone's probably mentioned it, right?
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree with that. So Ryan, just being like a super good League of Legends player himself,
he's very, very analytical.
super, super good. And I'm just
Yeah.
going to trust him because he's right. I only play about 3 champions very, very good. But then if you imagine if the actual season starts and we're actually going, let's say we're like the final or semifinals, and they seem to ban all of my good picks.
Your comfort picks.
Comfort picks. I'm going to be playing someone uncomfortable, which is going to put me at a super, super disadvantage. And then boom, we just lose our the tournament just like that.
Right.
Just because I didn't learn to play other champions, which is super, super easy to start on.
Yeah, having Ryan as a teammate in high school, he did give me that lesson of, Max, you only play 2 champions at high level, pick up other champions. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then he also like coached me. He like made sure I would do the right plays accordingly to the situation that's happening in the match. So I think it's very important that you have a well diverse comfort level on terms of like what kind of comps are you building around, or what your plan is for the match, like your win conditions, as Seth has said.
Yep.
Yeah, Coach Seth, he's like, before every match, he's like, make sure you recognize your win conditions, because every comp's different, right? There's the level of potential depending on each comp matters, and you have to be able to recognize that right away so that you can play accordingly during the match. So I think that's important. And, you know, as Johnny said, hypothetically speaking, if one of us did get banned out, like all 5 bans on one target, it would make it like a very big disadvantage to the point where it's like they're playing something that they've never touched before in a match that matters a lot. And that's something
And
you don't want.
then one of your lanes is focusing a lane that they probably shouldn't be focusing instead of worrying about themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all about balancing.
The ebb and flow. Yeah.
What I'm hearing is Ryan is very good at the macro of the game. You're good at team moods, building, setting, whatever the appropriate term.
Yep.
What would you think of yourself, Max?
I think mechanically I'm pretty good. My flaws is that I do tunnel vision at times, being the top laner. It's a common habit for top laners that, because you're just playing against one other person, sometimes the jungler would come top, but you just have to focus on your lane, especially if it's a 1v1. Same thing with mid, but mid is a lot team oriented because they have more potential to rotate. But for me, at least, I have to focus on not losing my lane. And if I am losing a lane, because you have to recognize that your champion isn't better than theirs, you have to make sure you're doing like everything possible to lose in the most minimal way, right?
And not just if your champion loses to their champion, but if your like micro is not as good as their micro,
right,
be better at your macro than theirs.
Absolutely. If you're not good at one thing, make sure you have something that you can
Can
leverage.
fall back against.
Right. But I'd say my micro is pretty decent, pretty good.
Seth, do you have anything that you've thought of after you're spending a week with them?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks?
Well, it was our first night we all played together. I kind of coaxed you guys into playing totally different comps each game, like swinging.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty apparent, to me at least, what comps we really like and some we were like still uncomfortable with. But what did you guys think about that?
I agree about the uncomfortable part, because I had to play some champ. Like, for example, like you wanted me to go like a champ that would be super peel for the ADC. So like a healer and a shielder, like a Janna or Soraka, which I don't even play. So
it doesn't fit your play style.
Right, it doesn't fit my play style, and it's not even in my champion pool. But then, like, looking at the macro style, like, it's gonna be good for the comp. And so that's the thing about like upgrading your champion pool. Like, it's just like it's gonna be a whole new learning process, learning a whole new champ, but it's gonna be for the better of the team.
Something that was really unique about that game though was we needed something that had an enchanter-esque, and Hanjay, mid laner, played Zillion then,
right,
and that really turned out well. I don't remember what you played specifically that game, but I remember that was kind of the missing puzzle that game was we needed some sort of enchanter, a speed up, a slow down, something to go in,
right, a buffer.
Yeah.
And probably not just learning a different champion, but also recognizing how other champions are played by being in their shoes, so you can recognize it when you're against them.
Right.
Yeah,
which would also help.
Right. Max, what do you think of all the different comps so far? Any you like or don't like?
For me, I've played a lot of comps. The thing is, though, it's like the champions that I'm weak at for the specific comps would have to be like the wave clear comp or the protect the ADC comp. Right. Because I was asked to play, like, in the past, I've been asked to play Karma top. That's something I've never thought myself as playing. As Johnny says, it doesn't fit my playstyle, for at least I think. But then going back to the champ pool, it's just a part of like the learning curve of the game, right? Like, what differs the skill gap is if you're able to adapt to such situations at a high level, and at the end of the day, it's like it's for the greater good. So
Nice.
But personally, I don't like playing those champions.
Right.
That's just who I am. I don't know.
But you got to recognize, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you're not going to play them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
For the greater good.
for the greater good, for the benefit of the
good.
team.
It's for the boys.
Yep.
Has to be to win.
So we've gone for quite a while. Is there any last comments you guys want to make?
Let's take the dub.
Yeah. Let's do it. Take the
Let's
championship.
win. We're gonna work hard for this. Really want to win this tournament. Whatever league that we're in, we're gonna do our best. It's gonna be such a good experience, whether we win or lose. Great learning experience, and just great overall experience for sure. So I'm super excited for that.
Shout out to my fans.
And last thing for you, Seth, is there anything interesting or exciting planned for next week?
Yeah, we're looking at a couple more scrims coming up here real quick. Not sure of the exact date yet, but
Okay.
we'll figure things out here.
Some
I'm sure
exciting
there'll be-
things coming up for both of you two.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Now, this has been the Bethany Esports podcast. We have recorded this on Thursday, August 29th, 2019, if I can do my dating correctly. And I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.